Hi everyone, and welcome to your weekly Pick a Card Tarot readings for the week of September 11th. If you're new here, my name is Sydney, I'm the tarot guy next door, and I use my occult knowledge and intuition to help guide you towards the life you want. If you want to support what I do, or if you have a situation you want me to take a look at, you'll find information on my Patreon below. I'll be doing 5-card open readings, and here are the decks that I have for you. We have the Universal Rider-Waite-Smith with Red Jasper, the Tarot de Marseille with Blue Aventurine, and the Tarot of the Divine with Amethyst. We also have 4 different oracle cards to choose from 4 different decks. So go ahead and pick which tarot deck and which oracle card resonate with you the most. It's totally fine if you're drawn to more than one, and as always, you can pause this video if you need more time. As always with collective readings, take what resonates with you and leave aside what doesn't. If you want to jump straight to your reading, you'll find timestamps right below. And with that, let's go right to the readings. Alright, group 1, let's see what we have for you for this week. This deck, I tell you, I think it's Static Cling or something. Let me just flip over all 5 of your cards. Don't panic. All right, I got your back, group 1. Don't panic. Give me a second here. Let's see. This should be well framed for you. Oh, yeah. Group 1, this is a Band-Aid being ripped off, and as painful as it is needed to heal and to move forward. I'm not going to elaborate too much on the Band-Aid metaphor because while I was paused, and by the way, I'm totally pulling an advice card for this, but there was a metaphor that came to mind while I was staring at these cards in silence that I think is much more fitting for the vibe here. Because the vibe of these cards is one of shocking, demoralizing betrayal. And the metaphor that came to mind to sink this message into is a French movie. I'm pretty sure they made an English translation, so unfortunately, if you've seen the English version or the French version, I'm going to spend some time explaining the premise because I think it's important to understand how this is good medicine despite how shitty it looks on the surface, okay? So the movie in French is Le Dîner de Con, and like a literal translation of the movie would be A Dinner of Fools. The premise is it's a group of snobbish friends. Let's say there are 4 snobby friends who think they're better than everyone, okay? And they have this monthly party where each friend has to bring a guest to the party that friend thinks is stupid, and the other me and my 3 other snotty friends will spend our time making fun of the 4 people that we brought to this event, unbeknownst to them. And the feeling of this message is realizing that you are the fool who was invited to a fool's dinner this whole time. And putting myself in this situation, like even just describing it right now, I feel my legs and stomach are tensing up. This would be so shocking and horrifying to know that what I thought was a pleasant event that I was an honored guest at was really this giant joke that I've been the butt of this entire time, you know? That fucking sucks. However, how is this good medicine? Now that I got the metaphor out, we can see what to do from this. Is that And it's funny too, because this is also the message of the Tower, which is having things shockingly, violently taken away from you that you realize were never necessary. Because as I often say when I pull the Tower card, did this focus? No, it probably did. Anyway, the foundation that the Tower is built on is strong, enduring, everlasting, and that is what was most important all along. So the question that I was pondering in silence before is, how is it a good thing that I realized that I was the fool that was invited to a dinner of fools? And what would I do from here? And after the shock, is a realization that, oh, well, now at least I know that this is something I need to work on. You know, it's kind of going from unconscious incompetence to conscious incompetence. It might feel shitty in the moment, but it's something that can at least give you the foundation to build the next thing on. Yeah. Now, let me pull an advice card to help process this, because honestly, as difficult, like if this reading is on target, it's kind of difficult to see this week as a good week. Certainly not while you're going through it, you know. So I wanted some extra help to satisfy this. And yes, the 10 of coins reversed as the reminder that this is but a delay. This isn't defeat, it's a delay in the thing that you really want. And it could also be an opportunity to clarify what you really want. Again, I harped a lot on this Dinner of Fools metaphor. It might not map perfectly to your situation, but all the 5 and 6 of cups here, the lovers here, there's clearly a feeling of demoralizing betrayal in this, and that was the best metaphor to sum it up. Remember that the universe doesn't throw things at you that you're not capable of handling, even though sometimes you can't tell. And also that shit. The thing that I wanted to say is important. I'm going to pause and take the time to remember. Give me a sec. The thing I forgot to say was a personal anecdote which wouldn't help you much. Basically, my Dinner of Fools moment. It isn't important. So I'm going to thank you for watching this reading. If you liked it, please like it. That feels so out of touch. But anyway, you could use the timestamps below to go to the Oracle card reading. I'll see you there, Group 1. All right, Group 2, let's see what we have for you. Is it me, or has the 4 of coins come up often with the Marseille deck recently? I don't know. All right, is this well framed for you? Yeah, this is good enough. Group 2, your message is so simple and straightforward that I just want to pull a clarifier before I even give you your message, because there might be more to this than met my eye when I was looking at it. And your clarifier is the Hermit. This surprise reinforces my gut feeling. So here's the thing. The vibe of this reading is basically, don't get dragged into other people's drama this week. That's basically the message. Just for transparency, I have a bias towards reading the person in the middle as you, the person that I'm reading for. So yeah, just to be clear. So what I see is people who are very skilled and confident and competent in their fields disagreeing with each other, and some kind of tension between these people that you're being invited to just relax and not get involved in, or at least not get dragged out into, which is reinforced by the Hermit here, this wise old man just doing his own thing. I don't know how much to read the fact that the Hermit and the Queen of Coins here are looking in the same direction. That may or may not be relevant to you. I did notice that the Star chick and the Queen of Coins are looking in the same direction, but I chose not to pay too much attention to this. But obviously, whenever the 4 of Coins comes up in the Marseille deck with the shield in the middle, that notion of protection and staying safe is comes to the forefront. So that's one way that I read this card in the Marseille. But the definite theme of wish fulfillment, emotional satisfaction, you just doing your own thing. I've said this before. I don't say this very often, but the star card is one of the cards that I read the most differently between Rider-Waite and Marseille. This is basically the running naked in the woods type of vibe. That's almost always how I read it. Definitely how I'm reading it now. So basically, because even if you were being invited to follow the Queen of Coins in the case of this disagreement, let's say that this was this message, what this message was. It's difficult to determine who the Queen of Coins is in your situation. Obviously, a queen is more experienced than a knight. In the system of tarot in general, so that might be a clue. But again, I'm kind of just mentioning it without wanting to read too much into it, but that detail might be important for some of you, which is why I said it at all. But really, try to not let conflicts between other people get to you, get to your safe space. All right? So I think I'm going to end the reading there. If you like this reading, please give this video a like, and you can use the timestamps in the description below to jump to your Oracle card reading. I'll see you there. All right, group 3. Let's see what we have for you for this week. Tiny top pile. All right. That's the Two of Swords. I'm going to name each one. The Moon. This is the King of Swords reversed. This is the King of Cups. And in the middle we have the Lovers reversed. With the Magician at the bottom of the deck. Well, this is nice. Magician's one of my favorite cards overall. He's up there. Well, she in this deck. Is this well framed for you? Yes. Group 3, before I give you your message, I just want to remind you that we all have all 78 cards inside of us. Any court card can be any gender. The reason I say this is because we have 2 kings here, and according to my analytics, the majority of people watching this right now are women. So the reason that I'm clarifying this also is because with the 2 kings here with the Lovers in the middle of the whole thing, the most obvious way is to interpret this as difficulties in communication between 2 people who care about each other. Not necessarily romantic love, but definitely something of an emotional investment. This isn't some acquaintance who parked their car across the line, you know, on crossing over into your parking spot a little. This isn't that kind of thing at all. However, the message for this, the however was the wrong word, I'm just moving on. The message of this is one of keep putting one foot in front of the other despite the uncertainty, and really focus on clarifying what you want. I think the best way, because it is possible that these 2 kings are 2 different aspects of yourself. One thing that I want to say is that the King of Cups is upright and the King of Swords is reversed. So we have the heart versus the mind. The mind might want to listen to what the heart has to say on this one. No matter whether the mind and the heart are within the same person or not. But again, the most straightforward way to read this is as difficulties in communication between 2 people. One might be anxious, the other more certain. That might be a clue in case that these are 2 people. But really, the thing that I say a lot in the Moon card is that there is a path through this darkness. You might not be able to see it as clearly as you'd like, but if you don't pay so much attention on the distorted, mirrored reflection that's on the surface of the lake here, you can see more clearly, you know, to navigate your way, to cross the bridge into where you want to go, you know. So try to keep that in mind. Now, before I let you go, I did pick an extra card for the other 2 groups, and I don't want to Yeah, I feel like being generous today. I am a generous God. You know, the 300 meme. So here's an advice card for you, group 3, and we have the 2 of Cups. Very interesting. So remember what this is all about. And remember that there's a lot of potential, you know, because the 2 of Cups is, let's say that we interpreted this in the surface level romantic love type of way. Then the 2 of Cups is like the honeymoon stage when you first start dating someone, the first couple weeks to months when you're in that lovey-dovey stage. There's a lot of potential there. And maybe by holding the vision of what you can create together, again, I don't necessarily mean romantic love, but it is a definite possibility, especially with the Lover's card here. If you focus on that, that's what can give you the courage to pick a damn sword and cross the abyss with this knowledge that you have everything you need to manifest what you want. So that was honestly a mic drop. I'm going to end the reading there. If you liked your reading, please give this video a like. And if you don't want to watch me pick up your reading, you can use the timestamps to jump ahead a couple of seconds. I'll see you at your Oracle card. All right, let's see. I should be getting better at this. This should be pretty good. There might be a background noise now because something started in my kitchen. Anyway, Group A, your card is Companionship. This is I Ching hexagram number 13. I was so curious what this card would be because I had like a feeling when my finger landed on this card. Anyway, the keywords are friendliness, mutual respect, shared goals, interdependence, agreement, strengthening bonds. Holy shit. This is so fitting for all 3 readings, which might be why I got the feeling when I pulled this card, because all 3 readings are pretty disparate. But one thing is for sure, whether the message is that you need to seek a new group of friends or at least make new friends, there's one group in particular I'm thinking of with this one, or whether the message is to remember what this is all about and to remember that the other person you need to listen to the other person, but you also don't need to self-censor, and that a relationship requires both parties to be there, you know. That might be something that some of you needed to hear. Group B, your card is Solar Flares. Activate. Very interesting. Now, something that I will say, I don't usually do this with Oracle cards, but while I was shuffling this deck, the Quincunx semi-square card flipped over and it landed face up staring at me. So the activation that I'm seeing here could be tricky to navigate. So what I would say, Group B, the activation might be for you to release what is inside you out into the world. It could be a straight up call to that, but it could also be an invitation to be on the lookout for people being more moody than they might be. That might be a thing. So yeah, just be wary. Like solar flares are cool and all, but the wrong solar flare at the wrong time could set us back to the Stone Age, you know? So there's a lot of power there, and just be mindful of how, keep your wits about you as to how you play with this heightened energy. Ooh, that was a mic drop. All right, Group C, do we finally have New Moon in Virgo? New Moon in Leo. Oh, we're off by 1. All right, what's the message? Confidence is your key to success. Well, wow. This is one of those cards that the reason it's difficult for me to add to it is that it fits so well with all 3 messages. You got to believe in yourself, Group C. You got to get your... you got to get that confidence that no matter what you do, you have what it takes to get to where you want to go. And you either win or you learn, you know. The only defeat is giving up. And if you think of it in, like, let's say you're scared to take the leap into something, if you think of it as doing tiny little experiments, then it gives you that pressure. It reduces the pressure to get started. If some of you needed to hear that, but just have confidence in yourself, Group C. Group D, your card is Loss. This is Saturn in Pisces. Give me a second to stare at this. Group D, given the tarot readings that I gave, I'm not going to read this as Saturn in Pisces. I'm going to read this as Saturn in the 12th house. And I'm also going to ignore the word loss because that's not really what's at the forefront. So basically, in terms of the illustration of this card, the vibe that I'm getting and how this fits into the tarot readings that I gave is less raven picking at bones and more isolated country house here. I think that the message behind the Lost card is don't be afraid to take some me time and to give yourself the space to get clarity on the things that are fuzzy to you. And for some of you, there might be new fuzziness thrown at you this week. And sometimes when that happens, you don't need to react right away. You know, it's unfortunate that the only word on this card is lost because that's really not what I'm talking about. I'm really talking about Saturn in the 12th here. Sometimes you need to spend a couple years on an isolated island to write your magnum opus in order to, you know, change the world, basically, which is something that you're capable of. It's just not something that happens overnight. And in order to make the path ahead clear for yourself when things are fuzzy and everything is moving, you need that space. Sometimes physical, sometimes mental. But yeah, that is the message of this Saturn in the 12th house card. So I'm going to wrap this video here. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't done so yet and you want to, please give this video a like. It does help out the channel a lot. And on that note, I hope you'll have a great week. Be kind to yourself and the ones you love. I'm pretty sure I lifted that tagline from somewhere. Anyway, have a good week.